Today we're going to be looking at Olivier Messiaen's Catalogue d'Oiseaux, Book 7. This is the final book, and it features 3 different birds. The first movement of this book is the Common Buzzard. This is the first bird of prey since Book 5, I believe, the Tawny Owl. Sorry, that was Book 3, Movement 5. Then we have the Black Wheatear. We had the white-eared wheatear in Book 2, and then the last bird in the catalog is the Eurasian Curlew. Let's have a look at how each of these movements start, and then I'll talk a little bit about the birds. So the Common Buzzard opens with the song. I think this is the first movement that's done that. So yeah, we start with the buzzard song in this case. Eurasian Curlew, we start with the song as well, and it's a 3-stave thing that spans the entire range of the piano, and it's very repetitive. It goes on quite a while too. So that's kind of interesting. We have sort of more of a straight to the point focus on the birds here. Kind of like Book 1. I remember Book 1 being more focused on the bird song, and there's less scenery at the beginning of these movements, I can say at least. Yeah, so the common buzzard has a huge range from Europe to northwestern China, western Siberia, northern Mongolia, and it is a year-round resident of most of these places. The first formal description of it was in 1758. Okay, resident populations of buzzards sing all year round, but migrants tend to sing only during the breeding season. The main call of the species is a plaintive, far-carrying piau or piu, used as both contact call and more excitedly in aerial displays. Juveniles have a more discordant nature to their calls compared to adults. Okay, then for the black wheatear, first it was considered a thrush. It is now placed in the genus Oenanthe. With other wheatears. It breeds on cliffs and rocky slopes in western North Africa and Iberia. So this would be in the very south of France. So that's a unique location, I think. I'll remind you that every bird in this catalog is a French bird and actually represents a province of France that Messiaen visited to observe them. The last movement, the Eurasian Curlew, is a wading bird. We haven't had very many wading birds in the series, at least not like as the protagonist of a movement. The English name curlew is imitative of the call that they make. It may be influenced by Old French courlieu, meaning messenger, or courier to run. And we've known about this bird and cataloged it for a long time, since 1377. I guess because it's so distinctive and large. And it has a huge range. It is near threatened, though. Interesting. Most of the birds that we've been seeing in the catalog are least concern. Numbers are noticeably declining, particularly in the UK and Ireland, which have about a quarter of the global population of them. In the 20 years leading up to 2016, the population has been estimated to decline more than 50%. So if the conservation status interests you, this last movement might be nice to perform, like in honor of the bird or to draw awareness to that. I don't think Messiaen was opposed to anyone excerpting these movements, so you could perform just the movement. It would be like probably 10 minutes. Yeah, Book 7 is 30 minutes long. It's almost exactly the same duration as Movement 1, or Book 1, sorry. And I imagine that each movement is 10 minutes, kind of like Book 1 was, 3 10-minute episodes. Yeah, I'm excited to get this over with. Maybe I'll have some final thoughts on the whole catalog, but I did miss movement five, or I did miss book five, so that might not be very useful to everyone. Um, this recording, I guess I'll use the score video. It'll be in the video description if you're interested. I highly encourage you to listen to this yourself, and I'll see you in half an hour. All right, so this kind of reminded me of book one, in the sense that it's very heavy on the bird song. It's kind of like rapid fire. Um, you have long stretches of music with no lower register piano at all, just because you're just like in bird song land, alternating between many different songs. Yeah, most of the pieces, I think all three of them had sort of a ABA thing going on, where whatever was going on in the opening came back at the end. Um, yeah, movement 11 here. I think the buzzard song is not particularly interesting, so it doesn't play a huge role in the movement. It sort of just like brackets the movement, but there are these long stretches of eighth notes that are supposed to represent the buzzard, like flying and soaring overhead. Um, then we have a lot of the black wheatear in the second in movement 12. So like this bird has a really interesting song, and it had a lot of activity in that movement. So I think maybe Messiaen came up with these titles after writing the movements, and sometimes he was just like, oh, well, the movement starts with this. Let's name it after that one. This movement really features this bird. Let's name it after that bird. And then the last movement, I think, was my favorite just because the it starts with the Curlew song, and it goes on for quite a while, and it's a really nice song. It has like uh, lower register of the piano, some more like consonant quartal harmonies. It really complements the rest of the piece nicely. Yeah, I mean, I kind of appreciate that these last movements step it up a notch. Like there is more birdsong going on, and it's very um, faithful to all these different birds. And it's kind of like I remember in Réveil des Oiseaux, Messiaen started introducing more and more birds at the end. I think he's kind of doing something similar here. So my thoughts on the whole cycle, minus book five, because I didn't look at book five. I thought it wasn't what I was expecting. Like I wasn't expecting so much set dressing and setting. I also wasn't expecting so many different bird songs in each movement. So it was definitely more epic than what I expected. Looking at the score and trying to figure out what the narrative was and what birds were singing when really helped. I think if I just tried to listen to all of this without the score, it'd be very difficult. Um, and it's a very interesting project. One thing that I didn't talk about going through these episodes was how Catholic Messiaen is. And I think that's kind of an important piece of the puzzle. Like, if you don't understand why he would write this, he's he's like looking at birdsong as something that God made, and birds as something that God made, so therefore it is good and it sounds good, right? So that's sort of his justification for recording these bird songs so faithfully and dwelling on them for so long. I mean, it's a very long-winded series of pieces. I've never been bird watching myself, but I imagine it takes a really long time, and it makes sense that these pieces would also take their time. Um, I think his up until this point, his birdsong stuff has been a little bit more fantastical and less realistic, you know? Like in the sense of like many birds commingling that wouldn't normally in nature, and many bird songs being like reshaped and played with musically. And here I think there's less composer intervention. Yeah, I still stand by sort of some of my previous thoughts. Like, if you're going to listen to one book, I would listen to book three. If you want, if someone asks you what the best movement is, what the best book is, just say book four. It's clearly the most ambitious one. And if you want to go like really heavy into the birdsong stuff, if that's what you're into, look at books one and this one, book seven. Uh, and then the other two solo movements, I guess, are kind of filler.